So here's a fun fact. Or maybe it's not fun. I don't know. Sometimes it doesn't feel fun. I don't have fight or flight. My husband says I have fight or fight. So whenever I've had a setback or a loss, unfortunately, my time period for wallowing and being depressed about it, I think the record is like 20 minutes of despair. And then I'm like, okay, now I'm mad. And I go into fight mode, which is great in a lot of ways because I've always found a lot of success and I keep driving and I keep achieving. In other ways, though, I feel like I don't have time to sort of decompress and process, which is probably not the best. So it can be a struggle. And it's funny, I think about when people say, Natalia, how do you do this? Natalia, how do you do that? And they're like, you don't want to do things the way I do. Don't do things the way that I do. However, if you do want to achieve, some success like I have, if you do want to learn in a healthier way, I have learned a healthier way to do things, I'm more than happy to work with you to share some of the better ways that I've learned to achieve success, because I know how important rest is. I know how important it is to take the time to process. And while I may not always practice what I preach because this brain broken, the trauma too deep, I'm more than happy to help others and to work through things with others because I do realize how incredibly important it is. So when I was laid off, for instance, I took it upon myself to immediately just hit the pavement, pretty much the proverbial pavement, right? And I mean, I didn't literally hit the pavement, but I did start working. And since then, I've been working harder than I ever have before. And I think I was laid off on a Friday. I had a contract. Well, I had an interview that afternoon, and I had a contract, and I was working that next day, that Saturday. And, it was great for my family, great for my income, my livelihood. Physical health, mental health, emotional health, maybe not so much, right? But it was definitely necessary at the time. Since then, definitely have been able to take breaks, right? It's funny, they say money, I think I'm rambling a bit, but this is going to go on YouTube, so I think it's okay if I ramble a little bit. They say that money can't buy happiness, but it can buy you peace of mind, it can buy you rest, it can buy you the things that you need to help restore, it can buy you time, right? Time should be free. Time is definitely a construct, but when you have money to take care of the things that you need, that's when you can afford to take time off. You can afford to take time to rest. You can afford to have a slow morning, right? And relax and do the things that you need for yourself and for your family. What we see, especially now, the income disparities that exist in the world today, it's the people who don't have higher incomes, who have, those low wages. They're the ones with the least amount of time. And I think for a lot of us, that's really what our goals are. It's not necessarily to make the biggest paycheck. I mean, superficially, yes, because that's what you need to make time. What we all really want, if we dig deep, what we all really want, what we all really need, what we're truly looking to achieve is that time, right? The time to spend with our families, the time to do what we want. If you want to go on vacations, really, that's time. If you want to travel the world, that's time. Time to see different places, to explore different places. No one wants to go on a weekend getaway. I hate those. We do that because that's all the time that we have, right? I'd much rather spend a week somewhere, right? Or a month. Oh, Lord, to spend a month traveling or visiting another country. That's amazing. Who has the time? Who has the money, right? You don't have the money to create the time. So what we really want is money to give us the time to do the things that we want. We all want to spend time with our family, but we don't have the money to be able to do that, right? We want to have the best health, yeah? But we don't have the money to be able to spend the time taking care of ourselves. So everything that we want comes back to wanting, needing time. And to be able to do that, we need money. And to be able to get the money, we've got to hustle. Hustling is hard, but there is a better way to hustle. It doesn't have to be this scheming. I grew up in the corporate world, right? Where it always felt like you have to brown nose or, suck up to people or, it always felt sleazy. It doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't need to look like it used to look. Things are definitely changing. I used to feel like I had to fit into a specific box, and that's not the case anymore. And I learned over time that that wasn't the case, that I could be myself. I could speak my mind, my own voice. Who I was mattered. My experience mattered. And I could and I should share that with the world, right? And it's important that more of us understand that, more of us realize that, because that is in fact how we make a difference, how more of us can make an impact, and how the success doesn't land with only a few. Because that's what the previous ways, the previous approaches have led to. Only a few, the boys club, right? The good old boys. That's what past has led to. The previous approaches have led to, they've created these sort of silos, these boxes where only a few people are allowed to get into the club. If we be ourselves, if we break through those boxes, and you can, then that opens the doors to way more people. And that's what we're trying to do, because once you break through that box, once you get into the door, you hold it open, right? And that's what essentially I am doing. I've made my way through. I've gotten into the door. And not only have I opened the door, I've taken the door off the hinges. That is what my goal is. There is no door anymore, and I'm going to let everybody in, because I believe in a world where we can all be successful. Maybe I'm a socialist. Sorry. If you didn't know that, surprise. If you don't like that, well, I'm not for you. That's okay. But I'm here for everybody who wants to achieve success and wants to bring others along to achieve that success. So if that sounds like you, if you're interested in working with me, reach out. I have the coaching packages, 2 different coaching packages to work with you one-on-one, where you can learn and grow and achieve success, and then share that with other people. So it's an investment for yourself and for the generations who are going to come behind you. It's not something that you do and then you're done and you let go of it. No, you go through the package, you go through the weeks with me, and then you've invested in yourself, your future, and again, the generations that come behind you. So it is definitely worth the investment. It's a long-term, sustainable growth package. I hope to hear from you.